Today's top stories. Inflation in January 2019 eases to 4.4% amidst lower price hikes in select commodities. President Duterte transfers the Philippine Reclamation Authority under the Office of the President. Filipino-Chinese community joins the rest of the world in celebrating the coming of the Year of the Earth Pig. And Task Force Bangon Marawi continues to assist displaced residents through its Kawigayan project.
Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. The Philippine economy showed additional signs of improvement as the inflation rate drops to 4.4% in January this year. The inflation rate eased from 5.1% last December 2018 and is closer to the government's target of 2 to 4%. The slow rate of the rise in prices was mainly driven by a slow increase in the cost of food and non-alcoholic beverages. The autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao recorded the highest inflation rate at 5.7% from 7.5% last December. The lowest regional inflation rate was recorded in the Cordillera region at 3.1% from 3.4% in the same period. Inflation in Metro Manila was pegged at 4.6% from 4.8% last month. Malacanang is pleased that the inflation has dropped for the third straight month, even as it committed to monitor prices of basic goods to mitigate poverty and hunger. Senate President Tito Soto says lowering the minimum age of criminal liability is a pro-poor measure. In his sponsorship speech for Senate Bill 2198, Soto says the proposal is not anti-poor, contrary to the claims of some critics, since children in poor families would be taken into state custody to protect their interests when parents are unable to do so. Soto cited the principle of parens patriae, or parent of the nation, wherein the state acts as the parent of any child or individual who is in need of protection. Meanwhile, Senator Richard Gordon says the objective of the proposal is to prepare children to be hardworking, honest, accountable, worthy, and successful citizens. He reiterated that children who commit crimes are not automatically thrown into jail, contrary to what the measure is popularly known for. Filipinos are joining the rest of the world in welcoming the Chinese New Year. This occasion is a reminder of the rich culture and tradition brought by the Filipino-Chinese community. Janice Cave has the story.
2019 is the year of the Earth Pig, and just like millions around the world, Filipinos are welcoming its arrival in this year's celebration of the Chinese New Year. Binondo is known as the oldest Chinatown in the world, established in 1594 as a settlement for Chinese immigrants. This district has been witness to the friendship of Filipinos, Chinese, and other nationalities, as proven by the unity shown by everyone in celebrating the New Year. Chinese New Year here is festive and loud, with parades, lion and dragon dances, and other activities happening in the streets until nighttime. A 3-hour procession passed through Haboneros, Plaza Luis, Ongpin Street, and Rein Regente as a highlight of the New Year's festivities. Ongpin Street is especially lively as stalls sell Chinese food and lucky charms that usher in good luck. In his Chinese New Year message, President Rodrigo Duterte highlighted the friendship between the Philippines and China as he urged Filipino-Chinese to cultivate the values and ideals that fuel their resolve to bring peace and understanding. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Provincial buses are reminded to pass through the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX, to pick up and drop off passengers. The DOTR responded to a proposal by Cavite Governor Crispin Remulla to allow public utility buses to enter Metro Manila directly from PITX to ferry passengers coming from the provinces. Provincial buses converted into city operations must still pass through the PITX before proceeding to their destinations in Metro Manila. The franchises of buses in Bulacan, Cavite, and Laguna bound for Metro Manila were converted into city operations. DOTR says allowing all provincial buses to enter Metro Manila directly would compromise the operations of the terminal. Congress looks into approving the proposed national budget by February 8. And 2 Indian nationals are arrested for selling illegal drugs.
Senator Loren Legarda is eyeing the ratification of the proposed 2019 national budget by Friday, February 8. Legarda, who is the chair of the Senate Committee on Finance, says the final bicameral conference meeting is set on Wednesday. She says the technical staff of both the House and the Senate are already working on the fine print and details of the reconciled version of the spending bill. The last day of session is on February 8 before Congress adjourns for the campaign season. Meanwhile, Justice Chief Bernardo Guevara hails the decision of Congress not to abolish the Office of the Government Corporate Counsel and the Presidential Commission on Good Government due to their unique purposes. The DOJ earlier objects a proposed legislation that seeks to transfer the respective functions under the Office of Solicitor General or OSG. In other news, operatives from the NBI Cybercrime Division arrested 3 persons, including 2 Indian nationals, for selling illegal drugs. The 3 were arrested in entrapment operation following reports that a store in Paco, Manila sold drugs in specially sealed boxes. Among the items seized were products that contained illegal drugs, including opium and morphine as its ingredients. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
Still to come, President Duterte transfers the Philippine Reclamation Authority under the Office of the President. Foreign shipbuilders express interest to take over Hanjin Heavy Industries in Subic. More on this when the PNA Newsroom continues.
I was deeply overwhelmed by what I've seen today. It is an emotional sight of people walking together, hand in hand, expressing our solidarity. The huge number of people from different government agencies, non-government organizations, private sectors, and even foreigners manifest political will and commitment to save and protect our environment.
Kaya halina, sama-sama tayo lahat ngayon dito. Dito na tayo sa Battle for Manila Bay.
Tugon sa hamon na ito, dapat tayo ay sama-sama, kapit-bisig, hawak kamay, tulong-tulong at sama-sama nating harapin at isulong ang ating misyon, ang hamon ng paglinis, ang ibalik ang kalinisan, kaayusan at kagandahan ng ating mahal na Manila Bay.
Cleaning up Manila Bay is a challenge to each and every one of us. And I consider this as the greatest challenge of them all. Kasama ba kayo sa challenge na ito? Ulitin ko, kasama ba namin kayo sa challenge na ito?
Nanunumpa ako na pangangalagaan ko ang mga katubigan na nagbibigay buhay, sa kalikasan at sangkatauhan. Nanunumpa ako na gagalangin ko at ipaglalaban ang aking inang kalikasan.
Ang buong tanggulang pambansa,
kasama na yung sandatahang lakas ay susuporta ng buong puso sa paglilinis ng Manila Bay.
At ang ating buong pwersa ng Navy, Air Force at Army ay tutulong sa buong kapuluan upang patuloy na linisin ang ating kalikasan.
Kami naniniwala sa pagkakataong ito sa isang whole government approach na ang manilis ng Manila Bay, ito ay magtatagumpay.
President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the transfer of the Philippine Reclamation Authority, or PRA, to the Office of the President. The transfer of the PRA from the National Economic Development Authority aims to rationalize the approval process for reclamation projects. Under Executive Order Number 74, the PRA is mandated to consult NEDA, DENR, and Department of Finance on any proposed reclamation project. No reclamation project must be approved by the PRA without the required clearance by the DENR. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says the transfer of the PRA will allow the President to be more hands-on on reclamation projects. Earlier, Manila Mayor Joseph Ejercito Estrada approved 3 reclamation projects at the Manila Bay, which will transform the coastal sections of Manila and Pasay into modern business districts. Shipbuilders from other countries expressed interest in taking over the operations of cash-strapped Hanjin Heavy Industries and Construction Philippines. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said several ship companies in the United States, Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Australia, and Turkey have expressed interest in taking over Hanjin's operations. But if worse comes to worse, Lorenzana says the government could take over as the Senate has already set aside some money for such eventualities. Hanjin earlier revealed that it has a total of $1.3 billion worth of outstanding loans, in which $400 million are from Philippine banks and $900 million from South Korean lenders. In December 2018, the company laid off more than 7,000 workers. Prices of rice will soon be as low as 27 to 32 pesos per kilo. This as the NFA accredited over 26,000 rice outlets all over the country. The NFA also increased its share in the rice market from 9.18% last year to 11.76% this January. Meanwhile, about 1 million out of the 1.25 million metric tons of imported NFA rice has been delivered to the country through the government-to-government scheme. The imported rice stocks are expected to last until August this year. Proceeds of the Shoot Fest spearheaded by the PCOO were given to 2 typhoon-affected barangays in the Mountain Province. PCOO Assistant Secretary Marie Rafael says barangays Balangao in Atonin Town and Lias in Barlig Town received 70,000 pesos each from the proceeds of the first ASEC Marie Rafael Cup shoot for a cause on January 5 and 6 at the Police Regional Office Cordillera Shooting Range. The money will be used to repair the irrigation systems that were destroyed at the height of Typhoon Rosita last year. Paracelis, Natonin, and Barlig were devastated by Rosita, leaving scores of people dead and damages on infrastructure. PCOO Assistant Secretary Marie Rafael says more communities will receive financial support through the event to help ensure that the lives and the livelihood of those affected will continue. Royal Caribbean cruise ship is set to visit Ilocos this year. Meanwhile, a century-old university in Naga City is recognized as a historical landmark. More on these and other stories from the provinces from Janice Cabe.
In Ilocos Norte, the Royal Caribbean International is expected to make a stop at the International Seaport of Curimao. The Tourism Office says residents are being trained to promote a unique brand of hospitality. They recently trained potential host communities on maximizing the benefits of visiting cruise ships. In Naga City, a 150-year-old university is now a National Historical Landmark. The National Historical Commission of the Philippines officially granted the recognition to Universidad de Santa Isabel. University officials take pride of its status as an audacious, Christ-centered educational and healthcare institution. In Zamboanga City, the DOH recorded 14 cases of filariasis in 2 far-flung barangays. An oral mass drug administration is said to be conducted to prevent the spread of the disease. Filariasis is a parasitic disease caused by an infection with roundworms and spread by blood-feeding diphtheria as black flies and mosquitoes. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Up next, authorities arrest an illegal recruiter claiming to send workers to South Korea. Task Force Bangon Marawi intensifies its Kawiyagan program to provide livelihood to Marawi residents. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Napakagandang simula nito ng araw ng linggo kung kailan nagtitipon-tipon tayong muli upang isulong ang isa na namang napakahalagang proyekto ng ating pamahalaan, ang paglinis dito po sa ating Manila Bay. And I'd like to commit the whole 192,000 Philippine National Police, each and every member of the PNP, dito po sa ating Manila Bay cleanup.
And I'm sure with the full strength of all the departments and of course the political will of our President, I have full confidence that we will succeed in this very historic endeavor.
Laws, we have all the laws, including the Supreme Court mandamus. People, we have all the people, but it is our heart, puso, it is our passion to save Manila Bay. Yung esteros na yan, ginawa namin ground zero kasi yan ang pinakamaraming dumi. Ang coliform level po dyan is 1.3 billion. 1.3 billion. Kaya pagdarating dito, kaya nga dito noon was 330 million coliform level dito sa beach nito. I direct the DNR, the LRDA, to issue the cease and desist order.
Kaya hintayin lang natin Secretary Anyo sa Secretary.
Nagkaroon ho tayo ngayon ng political will na talagang linisan natin ito para mga anak natin, ngayon mga apo na natin ay makapaglangoy na naman dito. No?
Together, we will make Manila Bay a revered and inclusive tourist destination once again, a spot where you can view the best, most breathtaking sunset while relaxing on a clean sea breeze.
Our journey will be challenging and may even seem impossible. But with all of us on board, I know it can be done. Let us therefore make history by restoring the glory of Manila Bay, because this will be our greatest gift to the future generations. Mabuhay po tayong lahat!
Kung halimbawa tinitignan tayo ng Manila Bay, ano kayang itsura niya ngayon kung tao ang Manila Bay? Nakangiti yan, tumitingin sa atin. Sabi niya, ay salamat, pinakinggan ninyo kami. I stand to you, Manila Bay, we will win you.
Operatives of the National Bureau of Investigation have arrested a man who led a group of illegal recruiters sending Filipinos to work in South Korea. The suspect, identified as Jude Lumbad, was arrested in an entrapment operation last January 30 at a mall in Manila. Lumbad led a group of illegal recruiters in swindling victims with promises of employment as fruit pickers and farm workers in South Korea. This is in exchange for placement fees ranging from 50,000 pesos to 160,000 pesos each. He was charged with estafa in violation of Republic Act 8042, or the Migrant Workers and Overseas Filipinos Act of 1995. And in our foreign news, One World Trade Center in New York City was lit up in red and yellow for the first time in celebration of the Chinese New Year. The main building of the rebuilt World Trade Center complex was lit up Sunday night for celebrating the upcoming Chinese New Year for the very first time. Since dusk, the spire on top of the 94 floors building started to shine mainly in alternating colors of red and yellow. Meanwhile, large blocks of red and yellow in size of several floors occupied the sides of the lower body of the skyscraper. The lighting will last for 3 nights until February 5, when the Chinese New Year officially kicks off. In sports, the NLEX Road Warriors suffered a huge blow early into this PBA season as Kevin Alas once again suffered an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The explosive guard hit his ACL again during its Saturday night clash against Meralco at the Inares Center in Antipolo. Alas injured the same right knee during the Game 5 of their PBA Philippine Cup semifinal series against the Magnolia Hotshots. Alas will be out of action for several months as he goes through another round of surgery and therapy. Task Force Bangon Marawi continues to assist displaced residents through its Kawiyagan project. The task force is improving services which will soon include food security and conditional cash transfer. Sweet Lukman has the story.
Member agencies of the Task Force Bangon Marawi Subcommittee on Business and Livelihood, together with humanitarian organizations, have once again gathered for the 5th Kawiyagan to continue helping the internally displaced persons get back on their feet. Machinery tools, cash assistance, and other sets of equipment were distributed to the IDPs during the event. TFBM Field Office Manager and Housing and Urban Development Coordinating Council Assistant Secretary Felix Castro Jr. reiterated that they have been doing the livelihood convergence every month since last year to complement the assistance extended by other member agencies. Being one of TFBM's partner in food security convergence, the World Food Program also provided livelihood and cash assistance to Marawi IDPs. WFP National Program Officer Baikon Macaraya corroborated with ASEC Castro's statement, citing their current efforts on formulating a complaint and feedback mechanism, including monitoring and evaluation. 1 year ago, a memorandum of understanding among partner agencies was signed forming a food security convergence. This includes the creation of Convergence Project Monitoring Team composed of government line agencies and international non-government organizations. The Convergence Initiative's primary target is to ensure food security of Marawi City. Today, another MOU was signed between TFBM, Marawi City Government, DTI, and WFP, which intends to group the IDPs into 5 according to their source of livelihood and skills. WFP Philippines Country Director Stephen Gluning, on the other hand, explained that the signed MOU intends to bring different partner agencies together in coordination with TFBM to bring the livelihood convergence to the next level. Gluning added that WFP is determined to continue working with TFBM for the Marawi IDPs this year. Together with Wilnard Basilonia for PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's top stories.
Inflation in January 2019 eases to 4.4% amidst lower price hikes in select commodities. President Duterte transfers the Philippine Reclamation Authority under the Office of the President. Filipino-Chinese community joins the rest of the world in celebrating the coming of the Year of the Earth Pig. And Task Force Bangon Marawi continues to assist displaced residents through its Kawigayan project.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And at this point, all of us at the PNA would like to greet everyone a very happy Chinese New Year. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.